Hello, everyone. Welcome to a super special storybook explainer today. I am just so incredibly glad you're here joining me. We've got some wonderful, colorful pictures lined up, and we're going to use them to explore a really beautiful story called Rory the Rhino and the Rocky Hill. So I want everyone to go ahead and get nice and comfortable, open those eyes nice and wide, and get your listening ears ready. We're about to learn all about a rhinoceros named Rory and a pretty big lesson he had to learn. Well, kind of the hard way. Are you ready to begin? Awesome. Let's do it. Right off the bat, I want to ask you a question. Do you like to rest or do you like to work really hard? I'll give you just a second to think about your answer. Maybe some of you said you love to work hard at drawing your pictures or running outside, or maybe even helping out at home. And maybe some of you said you just really love to rest. Well, guess what? It is perfectly okay to like resting. But our new friend Rory, he had a little bit of trouble finding the right balance between the two, and that is exactly what our explainer is all about today. All right, let's jump right in. Chapter 1, Meet Rory the Rhino. You see, Rory lived out in the peaceful grasslands, right near the beautiful whispering forest. Now, Rory was such a gentle, kind, and honestly really funny young rhino. He loved hanging out in the shade of giant trees. He absolutely loved eating sweet berries, and he loved napping. But he did not like hard work. Whenever his friends were out practicing their running, climbing, or swimming, Rory would just sigh. He'd say, "Why work so hard? Resting is way better." His best friend, Mia the monkey, would laugh and try to tell him that strong animals can help others and achieve really big dreams. But Rory? Oh, he would just roll right over onto the soft green grass, pop another sweet berry into his mouth, and take a long nap. Well, moving right along, we arrive at Chapter 2, The Golden Flower Race, because everything in the Whispering Forest changed on one bright, sunny morning. All the animals gathered around to listen to the wise old elephant of the village, Elder Theo. And let me tell you, whenever Elder Theo spoke, everyone listened very closely. With a huge, deep, rumbling voice, he announced, 3 days from now, there will be a race to the top of Rocky Hill. At the top grows the golden healing flower. He told the village that whoever reached it first would get to bring it back for everyone. The animals all gasped. This was a magical, super special flower. It could actually heal sickness and help tired animals feel completely better. Naturally, everyone wanted to win it for the village. Now check out this big difference. Penny the parrot chirped that she would win, so she immediately started practicing flying against really strong winds. Bruno the bear barked that he would train every single day, so he started carrying heavy logs to build his strength. Tiny Mia the monkey started practicing her biggest tree jumps. But what is Rory doing? I mean, he wanted the flower too, but he's just out there chewing sweet berries and sleeping down by the river? The very next morning, Rory watched his friends exercising and sweating. He looked at Bruno carrying those heavy logs and muttered, "Ugh, that looks painful." But Bruno the bear just puffed heavily and said, "It is, but getting stronger always takes effort." So did Rory listen to that amazing advice? No, my friends, he did not. He just shrugged his big rhino shoulders and walked away to take another nap. And that brings us to Chapter 3, The Hard Climb. Those 3 days passed super quickly, and race day finally arrived right at the bottom of the steep, sharp, rocky hill. Elder Theo raised his trunk and yelled, "Ready, go!" Let's see how Rory's day actually went, from morning till night. In the morning, the race kicks off. At first, Rory felt really confident. I mean, his big rhino legs helped him move pretty fast. But shortly after, disaster strikes. Rory starts huffing and puffing. While Mia leaped effortlessly over rocks and Bruno climbed powerfully uphill, Rory's legs just ached. He groaned, slipped on some loose stones, and tumbled right into a prickly bush. Ouch! It took him the entire day, literally all the way until sunset, to finally reach the top. Oh, that climb was incredibly tough for poor Rory. His legs trembled, his chest burned, sweat dripped all the way down his little rhino nose. Every single step hurt him so much. And sitting there in that prickly bush, Rory realized something really important. His friends weren't just lucky, they had prepared. Because Rory avoided hard work all week, making the climb today was so much harder and more painful than it ever needed to be. Many times during that long climb, Rory wanted to just give up and quit entirely. But then he remembered Elder Theo's wise words echoing in his head. Big rewards come to those willing to struggle for them. Remembering this actually gave Rory a special kind of bravery. He pulled himself up out of the bush, and even though it hurt, he pushed forward. He decided right then and there he was not going to quit. Wow, that amazing bravery leads us right into chapter 4, a big lesson learned. Higher and higher he climbed up those steep rocks. Finally, just as the beautiful orange and purple sun began to set over the whispering forest, Rory reached the very top of Rocky Hill. And there it was, standing tall and glowing so brightly in the evening light, the golden healing flower. But Rory wasn't the first one there. Bruno the bear had actually arrived first. But you know what? Bruno didn't point his finger. He didn't make fun of Rory for being so slow or for falling in a bush. Instead, he smiled a very kind, warm smile at the exhausted little rhino. "You made it," Bruno said kindly. Rory just collapsed right beside the big bear. He was so incredibly tired, but his mind was finally clear. He whispered to Bruno, "I understand now. You became strong because you trained every day." Bruno nodded his big furry head and shared this wonderful piece of wisdom. Pain during practice becomes strength later. Together, the two friends carefully picked the glowing flower and carried it all the way back down to the village. Later that night, under a beautiful sky just packed with twinkling stars, Elder Theo gathered all the animals together. Rory felt a little bit shy, but he bravely stepped right up to the front. He looked at all his friends and admitted something huge. He said, "I used to avoid hard work because it felt uncomfortable. But today I learned that without effort, we cannot grow stronger." Oh, you should have heard the animals. They cheered so loudly and proudly for Rory because admitting you were wrong is a very, very brave thing to do. And now we've reached our final chapter, Chapter 5, Stronger Every Day. From that night, under the stars onward, Rory the Rhino was a completely changed animal. He didn't want to just lay around and nap by the river all day anymore. He knew that if he wanted to do great things, he had to build up his strength. So, Rory created a wonderful new daily routine. Step 1. Every single morning, he practiced climbing hills. Step 2. Every afternoon, he helped the whole village by carrying heavy water buckets. And step 3. Every evening, he finally allowed himself to rest. But this time, he rested happily, knowing his hard work had made him just a little bit better and stronger than the day before. And you know what happened? A few weeks later, Rory went back to Rocky Hill. He climbed those steep, twisting paths faster than he ever had before. His legs didn't tremble, and he definitely didn't fall into any bushes. In fact, he was so strong now that he even smiled during the hardest parts of the climb. Because of his daily hard work, the exact things that used to be impossible for him were now easy and, believe it or not, fun. Rory finally understood a very famous saying, "No pain, no gain." It's basically about pushing through uncomfortable feelings to achieve your big dreams and grow stronger. Think about it. When you're first learning to ride a bike or reading a really hard book or running a big race, it might feel tough or uncomfortable at first, right? But if you push through it, you gain something amazing. You grow smarter, faster, and much stronger. So here is the big takeaway, the final moral of our wonderful story today. Hard work today creates strength for tomorrow. Every single time you decide to try your absolute best, even when it's not easy, it's like you're putting a little bit of strength into your pocket to use for the rest of your life. Just like Rory the Rhino did. So my friends, I want to leave you with one final question to think about as we wrap up our story today. What will you work hard at today to make yourself stronger tomorrow? Maybe it's practicing your math, maybe it's helping clean your room, or maybe it's running around outside. Whatever it is, remember our friend Rory. Embrace the hard work and grow stronger every single day. Thank you all so much for learning with me today.